Best exercises to build a top line. Well, I would be happy to answer this for you. So let me start off by saying that every time the horse lowers its head, and I don't mean like the horse curls under or anything like that, but when they lower their head and they stretch their neck forward and down, that automatically raises the back up. So just getting your horse to stretch forward and down all by itself is a great starting off point for building back muscle. And their top line. Another great thing you can do is just like change gears in your horse. So what do I mean by change gears? I mean going from walk to halt to walk to walk to trot to walk to trot to canter, back to trot, from canter to walk, walk to canter, halt to trot, trot to halt. I also mean like speeding up and slowing down within the same gait. So go for a little bit of a faster walk, a little bit of a slower walk, a little bit of a faster trot, slower trot, faster canter, slower canter. You're changing your gears, which is changing your horse's balance. Every time they have to speed up or slow down or switch in and out of gaits, they're engaging their hind end more. They're having to go deeper under themselves with their hind legs. That again gets the core muscle to work, their abdomen, as well. It starts lifting their back, helping build their top line. You can do that under saddle and you can do that on a lunge. Another thing that you can do is use ground poles. I like maybe 3 or 4 in a row. You can just start with one to get your horse used to them. That also gets your horse to kind of stretch forward and down, which you want to allow over the poles. That way they can kind of see where they're going over the poles so that they are less likely to trip. And again, by allowing them to do that, you're allowing them to raise their back as well as using the poles to start getting them to lift their hind legs up and pick their legs up, which also works their core and their top line. And you can do that on a lunge or under saddle, and you can use it while changing gears at the same time. You can also use Cavaletti, which are slightly raised poles, to get them to start lifting their legs up even higher. I would start with the poles on the ground first before you ever raise them, though. You can also raise your Cavaletti to different heights. So you can have a ground pole, a slightly raised pole, a ground pole, a slightly raised pole, just to help with their gymnastic type work. Again, you're letting them stretch down, see where the poles are. That already lifts the back, and then you're going over the poles, lifting the legs various heights. It's also going to build rhythm and suppleness and also trust with the rider. So it'll help your relationship with your horse. And another thing you can do, I almost forgot to add this, but another thing you can do is Hillwork. So even just little inclines or big inclines, or even like, a lot of people are really set on riding on flat ground, like perfectly flat ground all the time. Like if you're working on a top line, a really great thing to do is to just go out on a trail or somewhere that doesn't have a perfectly flat ground. Get your horse used to kind of going over things like this, and negotiating different terrain. That will use their body in different ways, and it will also start working your the top line of your horse. And those kinds of exercises have benefits way beyond just building a top line and a core. It makes the horse more versatile. It helps their mind become more, I will say, like elastic, rather than just like stuck in a pattern. Because you're always switching it up, and you're always asking them to think and use their bodies in different ways. All really great things if you want to teach your horse to problem solve, which will inevitably help you in other areas of your training. So those are just some ways you can start building your horse's top line. I hope I was able to answer your question.